Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Throughout these trying times, we've really been trying to provide value and great resources to our accredited businesses and community around Northeast Ohio. And today we brought on Larissa Bungo from the Federal Trade Commission, and she is going to share with us some coronavirus scams to watch out for. So take it away, Larissa, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Pam. Hi, everyone. I'm Larissa Bungo, Assistant Director for the Federal Trade Commission's East Central Region, based here in Cleveland, Ohio. The FTC is thrilled to be partnering today with BBB Cleveland. Thank you so much for hosting this webinar, and to all of you for joining us. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, the FTC is the nation's consumer protection agency. Our mission is to combat deceptive and unfair practices in the marketplace, both through law enforcement and education. As I mentioned, I work in the East Central region, which is one of the FTC's 8 regional offices throughout the United States. The East Central region covers 8 states, including Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. Today, we're going to talk about the many and various kinds of scams related to COVID-19, as well as what the FTC is doing about them. So first, one thing we all know from health emergencies and natural disasters is that scammers follow the headlines. And as the headlines change, so too will the scams. We're seeing scammers take advantage of the fears around coronavirus. Small businesses are not exempt to this. Scammers target businesses and particularly employees. That's why it's important to talk about these scams and let your employees know how to be on the alert. It's also important to share what you're seeing. The FTC is very interested in hearing from all of you about the types of COVID-19 related scams you're encountering in the marketplace. By sharing what you're seeing in your community, you can help law enforcers like the FTC know what you're encountering so we can alert the public and thereby help everyone else spot and avoid scams too. So please report scams to ftc.gov complaints. Reporting is so important, even when you just encounter a scam and recognize it as a scam and don't fall victim. Reporting in that instance can help someone else from falling victim. The FTC maintains a database of consumer fraud and identity theft complaints called Consumer Sentinel. And that database includes complaints that are submitted directly to the FTC, as well as complaints submitted to other agencies like the Better Business Bureau. Those agencies then share the complaints they receive with the FTC's Consumer Sentinel network. In that way, Consumer Sentinel is a one-stop shop for fraud complaints that's accessible to law enforcers here in Ohio and all across the United States. Thus far, Consumer Sentinel has received around 35,000 reports about COVID-related scams, and those complaints report about 23.5 million in losses. And we'll talk in a minute about the most common complaints that we're seeing. For Ohio consumers, we've seen about 872 reports of COVID-related scams. At the FTC, we always say that reported fraud is just the tip of the iceberg of the actual fraud that exists in the marketplace. So we know the issue is much larger than only those complaints we've received. So let's get into some of the scams that we're seeing. First, and extremely important, are fake emails, text messages, and malicious websites. Fraudsters are sending messages that claim to be from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the World Health Organization, or other public health offices. They may ask for social security numbers, tax IDs, and other sensitive information about your employees, your business, or your customers. They want to get your money, get information, and may even get you to click on a link or download a document that downloads malware, not just to your computer, but it could infiltrate the business network if you're connected. Here's the tip. Do not click on links from sources you don't know, and remind your staff not to do it either. It's also important to make sure the anti-malware and antivirus software on the computer is up to date. Now, here's another headline that scammers are definitely following. The Coronavirus Aid Relief Economic Act, CARES, provides financial help for individuals. That's the Economic Impact Payment Program, or stimulus checks, that we've all been hearing about, where the government is sending money checks to qualifying consumers. Criminals use that type of headline to make their phony pitches sound more credible. Here's what you need to know. If someone calls or emails you out of the blue claiming there's money available from a government agency, but you have to make an upfront payment or provide some personal or financial information in order to get the money, hang up. The government won't ask you to pay to get these stimulus checks, nor will they call and ask for sensitive information like your bank account number or your social security number. We've also been hearing from consumers right here in Ohio who received a text message indicating that their government stimulus check is ready and to click on the link for more information. That too is a scam. The government is not going to send you a text about your stimulus check. Scammers are trying to take advantage of the fact that consumers have heard about the checks but may not know how or exactly when the money is going to be distributed to them. So ignore anyone who calls, texts, or emails to help you get money from the government. I wanted to share some information about the IRS's Get My Payment tool. As we know, the government is sending out the economic impact payments. Most people don't have to do anything to get their money because the IRS will use the same payment method, direct deposit, direct express debit card or paper check, whatever you use to receive your tax refund, Social Security, retirement, or other government benefits money. If the IRS doesn't have your direct deposit information, you can go to the Get My Payment feature at irs.gov coronavirus and let them know where to send your direct deposit. To check the status of your payment, you can use the Get My Payment feature at the same site, irs.gov coronavirus, and you can see on the bottom, irs.gov Get My Payment can take you directly if you have any questions about the economic impact payment. The CARES Act also includes financial help for businesses, including nonprofit organizations and churches with less than 500 employees. As a business owner, that's probably a headline you've noticed. Scammers have too, and as expected, they're distorting the truth in an effort to cheat small businesses. The financial help is coming through the Small Business Administration, SBA, and the best source for accurate information about who's eligible and how to apply is SBA's dedicated page, sba.gov coronavirus. Go to it, bookmark it, and follow the instructions on that page only to avoid scammers that try to get your financial information and even your money. A couple of things to watch out for are scammers sending emails that look like they're from the SBA, calls impersonating the government or a financial institution, or calls or emails saying that they can get you your money faster. Your go-to source for SBA information now and in the future should be the SBA's Coronavirus Relief Options page, again, which you can locate through sba.gov coronavirus. We've warned companies about frauds perpetrated by a business email. This is, for example, when an employee gets a message that appears to come from a company higher up or a boss directing the person to wire money, transfer funds, send gift card codes, or provide passwords or bank accounts. In reality, a con artist has spoofed the boss's email address or phone number. In these times of crisis and uncertainty, an employee may get an emergency request and not think much of it. Scammers know this and they can try to take advantage. They also know that with most people teleworking, employees can't walk down the hall to ask about a questionable directive. Here's what to do. Warn your staff about these scams and give them a central in-house contact where they can verify requests they receive. And ask everyone working remotely to make sure their computer security is up to date. We also wanted to warn a little bit about IT scams. It works like the business email scam, but this time the caller message claims to come from a member of your technology staff asking for a password or directing the recipient to download software. These scams pose a particular problem now due to what cybercrime experts call social engineering, a dark art of manipulating human behavior to facilitate fraud. Con artists are very good at what they do. They may get information about your business online that helps them sell their story. For example, I spoke with Fred who said you were having a computer problem, or the meeting's been shifted to our new teleconferencing platform. Here's the link. Your best defense is a trained workforce. Again, make sure employees know about these types of scams and where to go for accurate information, an in-house source. Send them messages often to remind them. Never give out passwords without double checking. stop and verify. Don't be quick to click on links. Stop and verify. We're also seeing websites that mimic the look of well-known online retailers. They claim to have the essentials you need, but in reality, they're fakes that take your order, in quotes, and grab your credit card number, but don't deliver. How to stay away from these fake sites? The safer strategy is to type in URLs you know to be genuine. And before taking a chance on an unfamiliar supplier, check them out with trusted industry colleagues. Scammers also send fake invoices. Once they're mailed, since most people are online right now, they could be sending these fake invoices over email. They hope that the person who pays the bills will assume the invoices are for things the company actually ordered. Make sure that even though they're working remotely, employees are communicating and following the procedures before paying for anything. Robocalls, everyone's favorite topic, I know. Now that more people are working from home, they may be picking up calls they wouldn't typically answer. That means we're probably being exposed to more robocalls. Scammers have been quick to adjust their robocalls to try to take advantage of consumers' fears about the coronavirus pandemic. They're offering fake cures, prevention solutions, test kits, special access for Medicare recipients, health insurance, cleaning supplies, the list goes on. But they're also tailoring their regular robocall scams. So we've been seeing some Social Security Administration robocalls that now reference the coronavirus, telling consumers that their Social Security number has been suspended due to suspicious activity related to the coronavirus. We've also seen mortgage and student loan debt relief robocalls that mention relief programs purportedly relating to the COVID-19 situation. Here's what you can do to avoid falling victim. Simply hang up on illegal robocallers. Then block the number that appeared on your caller ID using the blocking service on your phone or provided by your carrier. Then please report the call to the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov complaints. An important thing to remember with robocalls is don't press any numbers. The recording might say that pressing a number will let you speak to a live operator or remove you from a call list, but it's more likely to lead to more robocalls instead. So when you pick up the phone and are met with a robocall, just hang up. Data scams. For hackers, working remotely is business as usual, but for many of us, it's a new experience. With more people telecommuting, hackers are hoping companies will drop their online defenses, making it easier to infiltrate their network. Here are some things you can do to maintain security while working from home. First, start with cybersecurity basics. Keep your security software up to date. Use passwords on all your devices and apps. Make sure the passwords are long, strong, and unique. Secure your home network. Start with your router. Turn on encryption, Wi-Fi protected access 2 or 3. Encryption scrambles information sent over your network so outsiders can't read it. If your router doesn't have Wi-Fi protected access, encryption, try updating your router software. If not, consider replacing it. Keep an eye on your laptop. If you're using a laptop, make sure it's password protected, locked, and secure. You may feel safe at home, but if you go somewhere else to work, don't leave it unattended. Securely store sensitive files. If you took confidential paper files or documents from this office or your office, make sure you keep them out of sight and under lock and key at home. Dispose of sensitive data securely. Don't just throw it in the trash or recycling bin. Shred it. Paperwork you no longer need can be a treasure to identity thieves if it means personal information about customers and employees is in the data. There are plenty of resources to help you and your employees make a safer transition to a remote workplace. A good place to start is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, their updated telework cybersecurity page on their Computer Security Resource Center. Our cybersecurity information for small business also has lots of resources. There's so much information flying around, some of it good, some of it not, and it can be hard to tell the difference. So you wanted to include some information to dispel misinformation and rumors. To try to sort it out, think critically about the messages you're seeing. Ask yourself these 3 questions before you act on any message. First, who is this message from? Do you know them? Do you trust them? Are you sure, considering all the fake emails and phone numbers we've already talked about? What do they want me to do? Do they want you to buy something or take some action? What is the evidence behind this message? Do some fact checking from good sources. Even if you trust the messenger, does the evidence support what they're saying? Let the facts steer your next steps. To get to government sources about COVID-19, start at usa.gov coronavirus for links to federal, state, and local government agencies. An important part of the FTC's work is targeting companies that make claims without the scientific proof to back it up. During this pandemic, the FTC's attorneys and investigators are working closely with the Food and Drug Administration to find the companies breaking the law and stop them. The two agencies recently sent warning letters to over 30 companies jointly and 100 collectively, giving them 48 hours to say how they'll address the concerns that are raised. Both the FTC and the FDA then watch to make sure the claims are removed and watch social media, online marketplaces, and complaints to the FTC to make sure they really have cut it out. Your reports matter. So if you spot what looks like a suspicious claim about a so-called coronavirus treatment or prevention or cure, please tell the FTC at ftc.gov complaint. We have seen everything from supplements called antivirus kits to IV therapies with high doses of vitamin C to purported stem cell treatments purportedly able to treat, prevent, or cure coronavirus. These claims we know are false because there is no proven treatment for coronavirus or prevention that we know of. So again, if you see anything like this, please do report it to us. We would be grateful. We're also tackling illegal coronavirus robocalls. FTC staff sent letters to companies that help telemarketers, warning them about penalties for helping them. These are providers of voice over internet protocol services and companies that transmit illegal robocalls or carry them for telemarketers, or that give the phone numbers that scammers use for people to call them back. The letters remind the VoIP providers that under the FTC Act and the telemarketing sales rule, assisting and facilitating others involved in illegal robocalling is illegal too. And just as a refresher, a pre-recorded sales message is illegal unless the person has given their express written permission to receive robocalls from the person or company making the calls. We're also working with the telecom industry, such as US Telecom, and a task force to identify those that are taking advantage of the COVID health crisis, including making COVID-related scam calls. One way we can all help each other is by sharing the good, trustworthy resources when we find them. I hope you'll share these in your community. You can keep up to date with the latest scams by signing up for the FTC's business alerts. Visit ftc.gov, subscribe. And as I've mentioned, your reports truly matter to the FTC, to all the law enforcers who have access to our system, to the people in your community you help every time you report a scam. Please, whenever you spot a suspicious claim or anything you think might be a scam, please tell us and report it at ftc.gov complaint. And here are 3 key resources for you to share. To know the latest about the pandemic, go to coronavirus.gov, which takes you straight to the CDC. To learn more about scams and how to avoid them, visit ftc.gov coronavirus. And to find out what else is going on across the federal government, along with lots of resources from other agencies, go to usa.gov coronavirus. As companies struggle to stay afloat financially due to the economic reverberations of COVID-19, your employees are facing the same challenges at home. The FTC has something you can share with staff members in need, and it costs nothing. We've created a special page, Financial Impact of the Coronavirus, where we've compiled dollars and cents tips for consumers, as well as new information specifically addressing the effect of COVID-19 on personal budgets. For example, for people with family members who are facing job loss, we have information about looking for work after a coronavirus-related layoff. We also have advice on what to do about mortgage payments, car notes, and student loans when there's less income coming in. For employees facing financial shortfalls, the FTC has things to think about, such as if they're considering payday loans or cash advances. We also have tips on dealing with debt with a special emphasis on managing bills and responding to debt collectors during the pandemic. We haven't forgotten about the financial strain on small business. And the new page includes topics for small businesses as well, including considerations for borrowers and lenders during COVID-19, tips about business credit, and common scams targeting small business. We ask for your help spreading the word. You can help spread the word about coronavirus scams so that not only your employees are on alert, but others in your community. The FTC's dedicated web page, again, is ftc.gov/coronavirus, and it has timely information about scams. It's a great resource I hope that you'll feel comfortable sharing with others. We're in this together, so the more trusted information we share with everyone, the safer we can all be. At this time, Pam, I'll switch it back.
Yes, thank you so much. So I want to thank you so much for sharing that information with us. We do have a few scams that people have reported us through our BBB scam tracker, as well as people have made complaints through bbb.org as well. So these have really been on our radar lately. We're asking to please watch out, especially as people are getting back to work, to watch out for phony face mask websites, utility imposter scams, as well as price gouging. So with phony face mask, if you want to consider, buying your staff members a large amount of face masks for coming back to the office to create a safe environment, we just ask that you watch out and look for reputable sites and make sure that you're really doing your research. Many of these phony websites have stock photos that they use on multiple sites. So the site might look legitimate, but it's not. And when you are purchasing these, make sure that you're purchasing them on a credit card. That offers you more protection than buying with either cash or through your debit card. We've been receiving many reports of these phony mask websites and want our businesses to be safe. We've also been receiving many reports about utility scams. These can target not only consumers, but businesses as well. Please make sure that you are staying up to date with the news. Many local utility companies are not, are offering a lot of leeway and things for the community right now. These utility scams, you might have someone come to the door. You may have a text message or a phone call saying that there's a discount that you can get from your bill, or that they're going to shut off your utilities if you don't pay them right now. And obviously, with times being so tough, we want to make sure that you're aware of these scams. If you are worried, we ask that you call the utility company directly, and that's the best way to kind of stay up to date and know if you owe money or not. And then we have also received many reports throughout Ohio about price gouging. Obviously, prices are going to go up and down during these uncertain times, but there is a difference between a small raise and a very large number for paying, hundreds of dollars for face masks. So if you have seen any price gouging in your area, we ask that you report those to either the Ohio Attorney General or bbb.org/adtruth. And all the Ohio BBBs have kind of band together and started a Facebook group called Stop Price Gouging Ohio, where people have reported price gouging incidents as well. And if you have any scams to report, we ask that you also report them to bbb.org/scam-tracker. You can view scams that are happening right through your neighborhood with our interactive map, and we also share this information with other organizations as well. And if your business or community has any questions about the coronavirus, we have lots of great tools, tips, and resources on bbb.org/coronavirus.